Today I am trying out every mascara that I own on my over 50 lashes. This is going to be a seriously brutal declutter. Which ones win and which ones lose? If you want to know all about flaking, smudging, clumping and removal, then stick around because I am doing the complete try on and removal process on nearly 30 mascaras and you won't want to miss this. Stay tuned for more. I have a mammoth 28 mascaras to try today, and I am going to try them on in pairs, so we are going to have therefore 14 rounds of mascara try on. Sometimes it's the same brand but in a different colour, just to sort of demonstrate different colours available, and sometimes it's two different mascaras within the same brand that we're showing against one another, and sometimes they are just two random ones up against each other depending on what I've got in the collection. But like I say, we've got 28 mascaras. I am going to try a mascara on each eye, so 14 rounds, and yeah, it's going to be a big one. So it is going to take me a little bit of time to get through them all because I am going to be removing my mascara each time, hence why I don't have any makeup on at all. I've got a range of products here and I'm going to see how I get on in terms of using the different ones to remove. I do have some simple micellar wipes. I do also have Garnier Micellar Hyaluronic Aloe Water. And if they don't work, I do also have the Lancome eye makeup remover. I also have the Lancome Tonique Comfort in case I need to use a bit of toner. And I do also have some Liz Earle Eye Bright Soothing Lotion in case I feel the need to soothe my eyes as we go through the mascaras. But without further ado, let's get trying on my mammoth mascara haul. I'm going to start with the drugstore, and so first up we have Maybelline Colossal Bubble up against L'Oreal Paradise Big Deal. So I'm going to do something that I remember seeing a lot when I was younger, but I don't tend to see people doing anymore, and that is I'm going to wipe off each wand on some kitchen roll and then dip it back in before we apply it. And the reason I'm going to do that is to try and make sure we have a kind of a fresh application of mascara. Some of these mascaras are older, some of them are newer, so they may be in different sort of conditions of dryness. So to try and make things as fair as possible, I am going to try and remember, or no doubt I will at some point start to forget, try to remember to wipe each of these down on a kitchen towel, and then we have a nice clean wand. And actually I've seen some advice to wipe off the neck of the container as well to get the cleanest application, and then go back in, apply our mascara to the wand, and then apply it to our eyes. Fingers crossed this works and we don't just end up with lots of empty wands. Okay, first up we are going in for the Paradise Big Deal. This is the L'Oreal Paris Big Deal. My first impression is that this is applying quite thickly actually. It's got one of those plasticky wands. It seems to kind of splay out a little bit at the end. I'm not a big fan of these differently shaped wands. I prefer it to be one length all the way down rather than a kind of variable shape. I find when it's got a varying shape, I'm more likely to poke myself in the eye because I've underestimated the length of the wand. Okay, that has gone on pretty thick, I would say. It is very thick. If you're going for a natural look, then this might not be the one. But if you want a big, thick, bold lash, then this is definitely giving you that. Okay, so this is our Maybelline Colossal Bubble. This is immediately going on a little bit smoother than the Paradise Big Deal did. It feels smoother. It's going on much less lumpy and clumpy. And yeah, I think that looks rather nice. If I were to choose between these two, I would choose the Maybelline Colossal Bubble. They're both coming off pretty easily with the micellar water. Next up are two of the same mascara actually. This is the L'Oreal Panorama Million Lashes. We've got one in black and one in brown, so this is more of a colour compare. This is the brown L'Oreal Panorama Million Lashes. Actually, I'm not sure how long I've had these ones. This is going to be one of the challenges, is that actually some of these mascaras have been in my collection longer than others, but still, let's not worry about that. Okay, that is going on quite thick, a little bit messy and a little bit clumpy. Weirdly, I have used this one quite a few times and I've not really noticed that before. It's not looking great actually. This is the same mascara in black, and actually this one's going on a little bit more smoothly. Perhaps the brown one is older because this is going on a little bit easier, although it is sticking up. It's sort of sticking, the more I go over it, the more it's kind of sticking together, and actually the lashes are starting to clump together on the ends as well. So I think that depends whether you are looking for this slightly clumpy mascara or not, where it starts to stick to itself. I'm not too impressed with either of these today actually. A bit disappointed with those. These seem to be coming off fairly easily with the micellar water. So next up we have two Maybelline mascaras. We have the Falsies Surreal and Firework. This is the Maybelline Falsies Surreal. This is in Meta Black. This has got a bit more of a kind of a classic wand with the sort of hairy brush, and I can kind of tell that that's what's going on here. I don't know why the application has, it's sort of a little bit more textured when you use one of these brushes, or at least that's my feeling at the moment. And unfortunately, this is what happens sometimes when I use the classic brush, is it pokes through and touches along my eyelids, so I make a bit of a mess. Hence why I'm not overly keen on the old-fashioned hairy brush type mascara. This is Maybelline Firework, and I'm a bit happier with this one actually. It's going on more smoothly. It is texturing and clumping up a little bit the more I go over it, but it isn't poking through to my eyelid and making a mess, I don't think. I think the end result is fairly similar actually. It's just a slightly tidier application, maybe a little bit less thick down at the roots. I'm a bit disappointed with both of these, to be honest. I think I prefer the final effect of this one, but this had a cleaner application, so I think they're both going to be in the bin for me. These both seem to be coming off fairly easily with the micellar water. Next up for me are two mascaras that came in the L'Oreal Christmas boxes, and these are both telescopic lift. One is waterproof and the other is not. The wand on this first one is sort of a bit strange. It's like a flat hairbrush. I'm not sure I like the look of that. So this is the L'Oreal Top Telescopic Lift, the non-waterproof version. It's going on okay. It is clumping a little bit, and you have to use this brush in a certain direction, otherwise it's not going to work. This is the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift in the waterproof version. It's going on okay. Initially I thought it was going on better, but it is getting very clumpy now as I reapply it, and I tend to be put off waterproof mascaras because I'm worried about getting them back off again. Again, it has the same sort of wand. It's sort of flat like a brush, like a one-sided brush, which I don't love. You've got to obviously pay attention. Oh, that's really clumping up now. Again, I don't love either of these, if I'm honest. They both just look a little bit clumpy. They are both coming off with the micellar water. Weirdly, the waterproof one is coming off better, and this one seems to be smearing. In fact, look, you can see this one has smeared all down onto my chin. This one has smeared all the way down onto my cheek and underneath my eye. So this one, I'm struggling to get it off, and my eyes are starting to sting because of that. I am actually having to go back in on this waterproof one because some of the mascara is still on my eyelash. So next up are two mascaras by Studio London, both Lash Icon, and you would think they were the same, but it seems that they are not, because not only are they different colours, but also the bottle and the wand are actually different. So we're going to compare these side by side. So this is a Studio London Lash Icon in burgundy colour, and my first impression is that it's a very subtle burgundy. I had expected it to be a kind of brighter burgundy actually, but it's not. I can not actually really tell that it's burgundy at all, which is surprising. That's the colour on the wand. What do I think of this? I don't like the way that's looking actually. I think, is this meant to be volumizing? No, it says lengthened, and it's just given me long, straight, skinny lashes. I'm not sure I like that at all. Let's try the black one. Okay, there is a difference here. That one says lengthened and this one says volumizing, so perhaps we will get a better result with the volumizing one. This has more of a traditional hairy wand. Let's see. This is actually a bit more comfortable to apply, probably because of the hairy wand. And let's see, is it giving us more volume? Not a lot of volume, if I'm honest. It does look different to the burgundy, doesn't it? But it's not doing a lot for me, if I'm honest. I'm not loving that. I'm not loving either of them. This is so far, basically, I hate all my mascaras haul, isn't it? I'm a bit surprised by the outcome here. Is that one smudged? I'm not sure if that one's smudged onto my eyelid as well. We have started with the drugstore ones, so I'm hoping that as we continue and we go through the mid-range and into the luxury mascaras, we might have a bit more success. On the upside, they do seem to have come off really cleanly with the micellar water. Is it me or do my lashes look like they've disappeared? I have to confess, I think there is some residue mascara building up on the edge of my lash line, so be conscious of that. Okay, so we have a bit of a random pairing here. We have the Huda Beauty One Coat Wow, and this, I think the brand is called Mina, and it's actually a green mascara. So a bit of a random pairing, but let's give them a try. This is the Mina green mascara. It has a rather frightening looking wand. It's kind of like a spiral, but with a kind of bulb at the end. Honestly, I do not like the look of that at all. Not entirely sure why we've got such a peculiar shape to it. But I bought this when I was thinking of trying some green makeup, and then I never actually used this. So it's actually quite subtly green, isn't it? It's almost like an army green. I don't actually know what green. I don't actually know what the official name is, but it's a sort of like an army green. It's okay. It's gone a bit lumpy. Yeah, it's gone clumpy actually, and the more I touch it, the clumpier and the lumpier it gets. So that is not great. I don't love it. Let's go in on the other eye with the Huda Beauty one coat. Wow. Again, we've got a slightly sort of strange, uneven shape. Why on earth they have these like fat ends and thin middle, which is the exact opposite of an old-fashioned shaped wand, is, oh my god, what the hell? Oh, look. Oh my gosh. Well, it says one coat, wow, and I guess this is why. God, that is very thick. I don't even go in any more with that because that's just going to build up to a slightly insane level. It's a bit crazy, isn't it? I personally like a more natural looking lash. So again, for me, these aren't doing it for me. They're just all a bit sticky and clumpy. I think this is interesting the way it's kind of emphasised these lashes out at the side. If you're looking for that, then the Huda Beauty one seems to attach to these outer lashes and make them appear really thick. I just don't like it. I think these are both too sticky and clumpy for me. I'm actually going to go in with the Lancome eye makeup remover because I think I'm getting a little bit of build up and I want to make sure that we have clean eyes before we go in and put any mascara on. Okay, so with the Lancome, they are both coming off fairly well. And I am using a little bit of this Comfort Tonic to kind of settle my eyes down between mascaras. Although I don't think I'd recommend this because I am experiencing a little bit of stinging. I don't think that's designed for the eyes. So next up, these are my last two proper full-on drugstore mascaras. We've got the e.l.f. Lash and Roll and NYX On The Rise. This is the NYX On The Rise. It's called itself a Volume Lift Mascara. This is going on okay. The one's not very comfortable actually. As it touches my eyes, it's scraping a little. So it's not all that comfortable to use. However, I think that is one of the better mascara applications that we've got so far. Let's go in on this other eye with the e.l.f. Lash and Roll. Now the packaging on this one appears to be a dupe for Benefit. Oh, I've got a dirt in my eye. Benefit Roller Lash. It's not actually applying very much mascara. This is actually a deep brown. That might be why it doesn't look so intense. This is actually a brown shade. And again, the brush is really spiky and uncomfortable when it touches the eye, but the mascara is not looking too bad at all. So I am definitely going to be putting these two into my favourites list. Almost everything we've seen, bar one, I think so far, has been a bin job, but these two I think are not too bad. I am again using the Lancome to remove. They're not coming off too badly. This one, there's a little bit more here to get off, but they're coming off fairly okay. So in terms of removal, I'm finding the most comfortable thing to use to remove them is the Lancome eye makeup remover, followed by the Liz Earle Eye Bright Soothing Lotion. Those two in combination are doing the best job of getting the makeup off, the residue off, and reducing the amount of stinging that I'm experiencing taking off the mascaras. So my next pair of mascaras I think put us at roughly the halfway mark. We are starting to move into the kind of high-end drugstore range. So I've got two from Benefit. They're actually the same. So again, this is going to be a colour compare. We've got Bad Girl Bang and we've got it in brown and in black. So first up we have the Benefit Bad Girl Bang in the brown shade. And this has long been one of my favourite mascaras, so Really interested to see if that holds up when we do this bumper test batch. And this is the Benefit Bad Gal Bang in black. And so far, so good. It's comfortable to apply. I'm not experiencing any scratching or anything from the wand. Actually, let me show you the wands. The wands are kind of tapered. They're sort of plasticky, but they're tapered, so they're easy to use, and they're actually quite long in length. And I really like this mascara. That's looking a bit spindly over there on the black side, but you can thicken it up a little by reapplying. See, I like these because you can reapply them and it gets thicker, but it doesn't get ugly. Now, maybe I am just biased because perhaps they don't look any different to some that we've had earlier, but they feel much more comfortable to use. I know that I have been using these ones for a long time and I've really liked using them. However, I can see that they are a bit thick and clumpy. And on the others, I've sort of criticised that. But here, I don't mind it. For some reason, I like these ones more than the ones we tried earlier. And in terms of the brown versus black, I think brown is more my shade. The black is fine, and obviously most mascaras are available in black, but I personally quite like the brown. I'm going to put these two into my winners pile, and I'm using the Lancome and they are coming off pretty okay, I would say. There's a little bit maybe of smudging around my eyes, so I will go in again. So next up, we've got a couple of trending brands, mid-range I would say. One is the Charlotte Tilbury Full Fat Lashes, and that is in the shade black. We also have the Fenty Beauty Hella Thick, and that is in the shade brown, which I think is called Let's Be Blunt. So this is our Fenty Beauty Brown mascara. This is going on really comfortably. It's not jabbing me or doing anything strange. And it has got something more of a classic hairy wand. And actually, I think that looks pretty nice. That's got what I would call more of a softer lashes finish. And that's my preference, I think. Some of my complaints earlier have been about what I would describe as hard looking lashes, and this gives a slightly softer finish, which I like. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Full Fat Lashes, and again we have another hairy wand, and again, yeah, this feels pretty comfortable going on. Actually, it's not laying down an awful lot of mascara, maybe because I've wiped the wand off. Let's get some more. And I think again we've got a nice sort of soft lashes result. Yeah, I like that. I think that's looking really nice actually. I like both of these. They're both what I would call a soft finish. These are both going onto my winners pile. I'm switching to the simple micellar wipes to remove the mascara this time. And yep, they are coming off without too much difficulty. I don't know if it's the wipes or the micellar water, but something is making my eyes sting a little. I'm finding the Lancome eye makeup remover is less stinging than the two micellar products. These two are our last in the kind of mid-range zone before we go on to the luxury mascaras. And these are a couple of kind of random ones. We've got Pixie Large Lash Mascara, and we also have a Bare Minerals. So we have a mineral-based mascara called Lashtopia. These are both in black. This is the Bare Minerals Lashtopia mascara. So this is our mineral mascara. This is going on really comfortably actually. It's going on smooth. It's laying down rather nicely. And that's, I think, looking pretty good. Again, we've got a kind of a fatter, hairier wand, which I'm discovering a little bit more comfortable than the spiky ones. I've just kind of I went around the end a little bit too much and I managed to smudge it back onto my eyelid. That is the only downside with these slightly more traditional ones, is that I'm, for some reason, making a bit of a mess on my eyelid. But aside from the mess, I think that mascara, and aside from the fact that I've left my lashes pointing in different directions, I think that's rather nice, especially if you're into kind of the clean makeup vibe. Then mineral mascaras might be high on your list, and I think that looks pretty nice. Now let us move on to the Pixie large lash mascara, and it's fortunate that these are being compared together, because again we have a really fat hairy wand, and I think this is the fattest one of all actually. I always kind of call this like the bumblebee. It makes me think of a bumblebee. And let's see how this goes on. Again, I'm not getting very much product on there, but perhaps that's because I have wiped the wand off. It's fairly comfortable to apply, but it is making one hell of a mess on my eyelid. Can you see that? I've experienced this before with this mascara, and it's such a shame because it's nice, it's got a nice kind of finish, it looks fairly natural, but it's really messy. Look at that. See that? You couldn't kind of walk around like that. If you've done your eye makeup already, which of course you probably have at this point, that is going to need cleaning up, and that is going to ruin whatever you've done underneath. So yeah, and in fact I had it with both of these, didn't I? Oh, that's pretty disappointing. These two would both have gone into my winners pile were it not for the fact that they have made a hell of a mess on my eyelid. And so I'm really sad about that, but I'm going to have to put these in my losers pile. Back to the Lancome eye makeup remover, because it is the most comfortable for me to use. I've got a bit of smudging with both of these. The Minerals one is very smudged. So, safe to say, these mascaras are very smudgy. They smudged onto my eyelid, and now when I'm removing it, it's smudging down onto my face a little bit as well. So, just something to be aware of with those ones. So we have finally made it to our luxury mascara zone. I've got 4 pairs of luxury mascara to show you. The first 2 are the Dior, I think it's called the Iconic Overcurl, something like that, can't quite read it. And these are both the same mascara actually, but one is in blue and one is in black. So I thought I would just demonstrate for you the Overcurl mascara in these 2 colours. So this is the Dior Iconic Overcurl in the shade blue, and you will see from the wand that it is quite a bright sort of blue. Doesn't look all that bright once you get it on actually, but the mascara wand looks fairly bright blue. You'll notice the shape of this one is slightly curved, and it's a little bit of a hairier brush. I am on the fence about this shape. I think it's okay, but you obviously have to use it in the right kind of direction to get all around your lashes, and I'm not overly keen on these shaped ones. It's okay though, it's not too bad. What do we think of this? This has I've kind of layered it up a little bit, haven't I, as I've been talking, and that's not too bad. It doesn't look hard, it hasn't got that kind of hard finish that I don't like. It looks pretty okay. The blue doesn't look overly blue, it just looks less harsh than black. So if you don't like a fully black mascara and you're sick of using brown, blue might be another option. But let's go in and compare it with the black version. So it is oh, I managed to jab myself over there. It is kind of sticking together and it's starting to clump up. That might be a little bit clumpy for me. Perhaps I should have stopped applying it sooner. It is quite a sticky mascara, I'm sure you can see, but obviously we've got the same formula but in different colours, so I'm not quite sure why the black one has stuck together where the blue one hasn't. I did wipe both of the ones off, but maybe I didn't do as good a job on the black one. We don't seem to have too much mess. I've got a little bit of mess over here where things have gotten out of hand, but they are okay. I rather like them, although I just feel bad putting this one on the winners pile when I've made such a mess of the clumping over at this side. So I mean, I am going to put these in the winners pile because they are Dior and I like them, but I think I might need to take a bit more care in my application when I use this to avoid this kind of overly thick clumping. I'm using the Lancome eye makeup remover. This black one is rather smudging, but I dare say that is because I put a little bit too much on somehow. I will say this Lancome eye makeup remover is very comfortable on the eyes, given that I have just put on and taken off mascara quite a number of times. Of the various methods I've used, the Lancome eye makeup remover is definitely the most comfortable. We have 3 pairs left to go. This pair is going to be the RMS Straight Up Mascara and the Clinique High Impact Mascara. This is the RMS Straight Up Mascara. Oh, I think I'm getting it in my hair. Now, I really like this. This has given me exactly what I want. Quite a bit of volume, and even though it is black, it doesn't look overly hard. It's got that kind of soft finish that I like. So I'm liking the RMS, and I happen to know that I usually like the Clinique High Impact for exactly the same reason, that although it is black, it gives a kind of a soft finish. It doesn't give that hard, I can't explain it any other way, hard lashes. It gives a sort of a soft, I'm going to say sophisticated finish. And this may not be quite as thick as the RMS. Let's compare. I think the RMS to my eye looks a little bit thicker, but this looks a bit more, I was going to say a bit more shapely, but that just might be my eyelashes. I'm noticing on this side my eyelashes stick out more straight, and on this side they come across to the side a little more. I like both of these. I'd go as far as to say these two are some of my true favourites. Right then, we are nearly there. This is the penultimate mascara compare, and we have 2 from the fantastic brand Lancome. I have the, the Lash Idol, and this is in brown, and I also have the Hypnose Drama, and this is in black. So let's try these on out. Now, the brown Lash Idol, before I start, has this really strange sort of, I'm going to call it like a hairbrush shaped wand. It's sort of bent. The bristles are more or less on one side. I'm calling it a hairbrush. You might call it a hedgehog. But this has been one that I've enjoyed using recently. So let us go in with this one. It's sort of like brushing your eyelashes with a hairbrush. That's why I call it the hairbrush wand. And you do, of course, have to have it pointing the right way in order to use it. This is the brown shade, and again we've got what I would call a really soft, sophisticated mascara finish there. I really like that. I think this is one of my favourites. But let's go on and use the Hypnose Drama from Lancome. This is black. This has got a more of a traditional, it is slightly wonky actually, you can see it twists slightly, so I'm not sure about that. But let's just go in with this. This is black, and actually I didn't wipe the wand off this time, but hopefully we'll get away with it. And that's, like it says, Hypnose Drama. So this is a much more dramatic lash, I would say. It's making them look thicker and longer, and yet it still looks sophisticated. The lashes don't look hard and crispy, they look kind of soft and luscious. I think these are some of the best mascaras on the market. And I'm using the Lancome eye makeup remover, and so as you would expect with the Lancome mascaras, they pair beautifully. And we have finally made it. This is the final pairing, and we are testing out the queen of all brands, Estee Lauder. I have here the Sumptuous Extreme against the Sumptuous Rebel. So one says lash multiplying volume and the other one says length and lift. So let's give these a go. This is the Sumptuous Extreme. One of the things I like about this is the really long hairy wand. I haven't wiped the wand off, I will confess, but I'm sure it will work out very well all the same. This mascara, I think, is really fantastic. It's volumizing without making my lashes look crunchy. They still look soft. They look soft and long and thick and luscious, and they look absolutely fantastic. And we will try the other mascara, which is the Sumptuous Rebel. And I really like this because look at this teeny tiny wand. It's so thin, it barely looks like a wand at all. And I think that is fantastic, especially for going in on your lower lashes, because of course the bigger brushes are very difficult to attack those tiny lower lashes with. Now this is giving, I would say, a slightly different finish to the other one. Let's have a look at this. It still looks soft, but maybe it's not as volumizing, and in fact this is a length and lift one. And what I'm interested to see is, does it lift my eyelashes up? And I mean, this side is slightly lifted, but I don't know if that's been the same all the way along. I think these are just both fantastic. Probably if you want more drama this side, maybe this one's better for every day, because it's, to me, it doesn't seem quite so volumized, but still it's very impactful, very sophisticated. There's nothing crunchy or hard about these mascaras. I think these are absolutely fantastic, and again, these are very much going into my winners pile of the best mascaras I've tried in today's try on. So I don't have an exact 50-50 split. I have one more on the winners pile than I do on the losers pile, but the mascaras, quickly to run through them, on the winners pile were the two Estee Lauder mascaras. They are Sumptuous Extreme, Sumptuous Rebel. We have the Lancome Lash Idol. We have the Lancome Hypnose Drama. We have the RMS Straight Up Mascara. We have the Clinique High Impact. We have the two Dior Iconic Overcurls. We have the Charlotte Tilbury Full Fat Lashes. We have the Fenty Beauty Hella Thick Lashes. We have Elf Lash and Roll. We have NYX On The Rise. We have the two Bad Gal Bang mascaras from Benefit. And we have one drugstore, which is the Maybelline Colossal Bubble. That is my list of favourite mascaras. Unfortunately, that means everything else is probably going in the bin. Thank you so much for watching this mascara video. I hope you enjoyed seeing me try everything on my lashes and agree with my best of list and my worst of list. Please drop me a comment down below to let me know what you think of the mascaras I have tried on. And if you enjoyed this video, please check out my next video here. Thank you so much for watching. Stay curious and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.